So the DNC is back to its old self after briefly taking a principled stance for a couple of months. It's being reported that the organization headed by Tom Perez recently voted 30-2 to adopt a resolution to reverse the ban on fossil fuel donations to the DNC through political action committees. Now, according to Common Dreams, the unanimously approved original resolution, which requires the DNC to reject corporate PAC contributions from the fossil fuel industry, was originally spearheaded by Christine Pelosi. Now, Christine Pelosi, unlike her mother, is actually sort of progressive. And she's been trying to put in these progressive reforms into the DNC. Unfortunately, it hasn't been effective. Christine Pelosi also tried on Friday to pressure the committee to remove the language in Perez's resolution, which would have undermined the ban on corporate PAC donations. However, her proposal to do that was voted down 28-4. Damn. Which means a majority of the DNC, the people that are voting, actually voted for more basically industry donations. Now, of course, the DNC says, no, that's not what we're doing at all. No. They said that this proposal is actually not a reversal, adding that any review of our current donations reflects the party's commitment to no longer taking donations from that industry. But wait a minute here. What they're doing is that they're basically relying on a technicality. Now, HuffPost explains that the new resolution nods to forward-thinking employers, right, which would be able to donate through these PACs, or I should say, that are powering America's all-of-the-above energy economy and moving us towards a future fueled by clean and low-emissions energy technology, from renewables to carbon capture and storage to advanced nuclear technology. But wait a minute here. These companies are oil and gas. These are fossil fuels. These are, ExxonMobil and companies like that, oil and coal and natural gas, that are able to donate. And they have actually donated quite a bit to Democratic politicians. According to HuffPost, oil and gas companies spent a record $7.6 million in Democratic races in 2016. Now, look, if you want to compare that to the Republicans, well, the Republicans got $53.7 million in direct donations, right? So, overwhelmingly, yes, they favor the Republican Party. So why do they donate to the Democratic Party? Well, in order to buy compliance. That's what this is about. Basically, they give that money to the Democrats, which is a mere fraction, a mere pittance. They throw a few dimes, their way, some scraps, for the Democrats to say, oh, no, yeah, climate change, can't do anything about it. Yeah, I mean, we want to do something about it, but then the Republicans, I mean, we can't be so forward thinking on climate change issues, because then we're not going to get any of the money. And that's going to help us win elections so that we can do something about the climate, but not really. That's the problem here. Okay. Look, here's the thing. To kind of illustrate that that's basically what's happening in the Democratic Party. Democrats have been remaining slow to mount a serious challenge to the industries most responsible for global warming. On the state level, Washington Governor Jay Inslee failed to pass the nation's first carbon tax, even as his party enjoys complete control over the deep blue state. They can't even get it done there. And that's just a carbon tax. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has refused to swear off fossil fuel donations, of course, halt new frack gas infrastructure in the state, or support a widely hailed climate bill, despite an aggressive primary challenge from Cynthia Nixon and intense pressure from environmentalists. On the national level, most bills from Democrats who purport to be Congress's biggest climate hawks amount to half measures, either exempting major polluters such as the meat industry, directing carbon tax revenues that could be used to mitigate the effect of climate change to lowering taxes, or waiting until 2050 to end fossil fuel use. That is the Democratic Party right now. That is why they should not be taking donations from fossil fuel companies. But here's the DNC saying, nope. I mean, we did so for 2 months, and then we didn't like it, so we're going to go back to taking money from fossil fuel corporations. That's what we're going to do, from oil and gas. The Democratic Party right now is so incredibly weak and so bought off by big corporate interests. It's disgusting. Now, the DNC new resolution, and going back to their ridiculous defense, they're saying that it reaffirms its unwavering and unconditional commitment to the workers, unions, and forward-looking employers that power the American economy. See, look, we're just taking the donations from the workers and forward-thinking companies through the PAC. We're not actually taking direct donations from the industry itself. Oh, no, no, no. See, we've changed. We're the DNC, but we're the new and improved good DNC that only takes a little bit of money from corporations and PACs. No. No, they have not changed at all. They said we're going to do a principled stand that lasted 2 fucking months. 2 months. And here's the thing, the other thing. Pelosi, again, she hoped that the DNC would consider a second proposal to stop accepting contributions from over $200 from individuals who work from the fossil fuel industries. Now, the thinking is, okay, look, there are people that work in the fossil fuel industry that do care about climate change, but you got to have a job, right? You got to eat. So they maybe will support these progressive thinking people. So we should allow them to at least give money, but not too much money. Because if you allow too much money into the system, then you're going to buy influence. And that's what's happening right now. With unlimited donations or with large donations, you basically have employers, industry, buying influence in the DNC, right? Now, the thinking is, of course, that of course, makes all the sense in the world. This is why I want money out of politics. I want corporate money out of politics. Not to mention union money, because, again, one of their big excuses for this is, well, we're hurting, like, the unions. The unions want to give money to us. You know what? I want all money out of politics. If you're a conservative and you hate unions and you're worried about unions giving too much money to politicians, I hear you. I would also get rid of the union money. Get it all out. Get it all out. Get all the money out of politics, corporations, and unions. Gone. Out. That's the only way to fix this problem. We don't have time to wait anymore. We don't have time for the DNC to fuck around, to bullshit around, and take money from PACs. Fossil fuel PACs. I don't care if it's from the unions. And by the way, the unions, here you have the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, right? Now, they're a strong supporter of building oil pipelines, right? Now, get this. Just this year, they donated more than $305,000 to the DNC. Now, like, I'm a union guy, right? I'm a strong union supporter. I think we need more unions. We need strong unions. But that doesn't mean that they're right on every issue. On this issue, I absolutely disagree with the unions. I understand why they're doing it. Well, yeah, jobs, right? So what we not want to do is we want to make sure that there are jobs for our, people that are members of the union, building pipelines. But that's ultimately not good for the country. That's terrible for the environment. Look, maybe you should look beyond the interests of just your union and actually look at the damage that we're doing. Unions won't do a goddamn thing when the planet's on fire. And right now, we're getting there. Another record hot summer. You have people in Japan, 119 people died from heat waves. Right? Pakistan, 85 people died from heat-related, heat-related to climate change. Okay? And you have people in the United States as well suffering from these heat waves that are induced by climate change and by storms, also fueled and induced by climate change. There is a huge, huge problem. The DNC, the Democratic Party, they thought, they say that, no, we stand for science. We stand for fighting against climate change. No, you don't. This is absolute proof that you don't give a damn about it when it comes between that and the money. Nothing can can get in the way of us and our corporate PAC money. And of course, they want to excuse it by, well, we have to have the money to win elections. But when you win elections, you are now beholden to these same corporations, to these same interests, and that means you're not going to do a goddamn thing. As I just showed you the numbers. I just told you. No, we got to get the money out of politics, or else we're not going to make any sort of headway or any sort of issue. That's why it's so goddamn important to hammer on that issue, to talk about who's funding what, to follow the money, and to finally get rid of the money. We need publicly financed elections and a ban on corporate and union money in all of our politics. That is the only way we're going to fix this goddamn issue and actually maybe have a hope for a future for the entire planet.